Hey, this is David Morelli from the Enwaken radio show. So on yesterday's show, the tables were turned and I got interviewed about intuition to solve problems. So here are the highlights from yesterday's show. And on yesterday's show, I also announced a 3-hour training that I'm going to give to you for free by going over to Enwaken.com and clicking on Coaching Program. It's a sneak peek inside of how you can hone your laser intuition in your life to not only solve your problems, but to get you your dreams. Here's the highlights from yesterday's show.
Today, I'm going to be talking you through and walking you through intuition to solve problems. I'm going to introduce you to your host for this show, Alphie Thorn. That's Alphie in a nutshell. You have the ability to tune into your intuition whenever you want. Every time that you're willing to not know, a deeper answer can emerge. And that's actually the goal of this show. So that's kind of one thing to do, is to find little moments where you can stop and pause and to take your mind off the problem and then be open to something new.
I didn't know why. I just knew it wasn't, don't need to go out today.
Isn't that interesting? So you're hosting a radio show instead of getting your toenails painted.
There you go.
That's pretty cool. It's like those little moments in your life where you feel like you're hitting either a crisis. This can be one of the places your intuition is really useful. You go, wait a second. Life is throwing me a curveball right now. What's actually meant to happen in this space right now? Right? Yeah. And when I asked that question today, I got, actually, I think I'm supposed to be interviewed about intuition because there's some answer that I have for the people who are going to be listening. And, I went through would I just do it straight up? And I was like, no, actually, my intuition said, call Alphie. See if she'd like to interview you. So just interesting how things work out. But it's in those moments when you're willing to ask, what do I do now? And then be willing to follow those. And for those moments, Alphie, you probably have this moment today. You probably argued with your intuition. Like, what do you mean I'm not supposed to get my toenails? And you know what I mean? What do you mean I'm not supposed to? Yeah. And it's like your mind will argue with your intuition. And I feel like that's one of the markers of intuition is you don't have a reason why, but it'll probably trigger your mind arguing with you. That's actually probably that it's your intuition. What do you mean you're not going to go out? What do you mean I'm supposed to sit home? What do you mean,
It doesn't make any sense. Why should I just be hanging around? I got more time here today to do this and I could have it tomorrow and all these other kind of things.
I believe we have Pam on the line. Pam, are you?
Yes. Hi, David. Thanks.
Would you just share with everybody just a little bit about the decision that you were starting to describe to me?
I've been honing my intuition for about 30 years, so I quite often rely on it, and sometimes I forget to, but most of the time I check in. And today I followed my intuition on a decision about removing myself from a competition that would have me moving closer to my parents, which is what I want.
And it looks to me like part of this decision that you're making is driven by a bit of fear and a bit of unresolved emotions. And it might be fear about, I'm going to lose my parents and never get a chance to say, goodbye, or, I'm going to, like a push-pull experience about, being with them or not, or that push-pull looks like is having an effect. Mm-hmm. So what I'd like to do first is work with that push-pull so that you can kind of set that aside, and then you can go into having a little bit clearer messaging from the inside of you. Does that make sense?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, great. So for everybody, if you have a decision that you're making, you can follow along, right? So if you're listening and you're going, I've got this decision, check to see, is there a mixed set of emotions in there? Is there a way that this might be a fear-driven question, right? And if so, follow along with me what I'm going to do with Pam.
So to hear the rest of the coaching session, as well as the rest of the show, go to Enwaken on iTunes.com. And make sure that you come and catch the 3-hour interactive experience where you get to come in and feel and see for yourself what's inside of the Enwaken coaching program. It'll hone and laser in your intuition like you won't believe. I hope to see you there. Enwaken.com, click on Coaching Program. See you soon.